So, welcome everyone to the masterclass for the Visibility Challenge. And I've just been so blown away with all the interactions, all the hard work and effort that you've all put into it. And kudos to those that have jumped out of the comfort zones as well to do the big, bold visibility challenge. So I'm really, really thrilled with everything. So we're just gonna get started. So the plan for the challenge was to be bold, and I think that's what you all did. So we looked at building belief and we began with the vision. So you all clarified what you want to be known for, because that's as big a decision as anything, just clarifying what you want to be known as and start trusting your own voice and what you want to be visible for internally. And once you recognize that internally, the external stuff almost becomes easier. So I want to thank you all for that because I know some of you described it as being a bit like therapy, and other people you really, really dug deep for that. So that's brilliant, and it's just evident in all the outputs that you've had as well. And then we owned our story, so you all got clearer on your message of what it is you actually do and who for. Because when your message is clear, then that confidence flows as well, because you you just get more comfortable in saying it because it's clear and you know what you're saying. And then we led with our stories. So you looked at story mapping exercise and mapped out and identified stories that are unique to you that would build trust and authority, and looked at the stories that could create a connection as well, because that connection then creates the opportunity and people build the know, like, and trust based on that connection. And then you actually just did it and you took that action and you moved from thinking to actually doing. And that momentum comes from action, not intention. So you can and do all the planning in the world and all the strategies in the world, but unless we actually do them, that momentum's not going to happen. So thank you for all trusting in me and having a go. So you've planted the seeds this past week. So now, how do we ensure that those seeds continue to grow and flourish throughout the year? So let's talk about, so why does the visibility break down? So you've done some of the basics this past week. So why does things go awry? And it's quite often inconsistency. So we'll be do loads for a week and then nothing for the next 2 months. Or sometimes we lose track of time as well. So I know Karen earlier when she did a live, she said, "Oh yeah, Facebook's not enabled me to do a live for a few months." And then she po commented on her own live after and said, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it's actually been 24 months." Not a few months. It's been 2 years. And this is it. This is the trick. Sometimes our minds play on us that it was only like last week that I did that, when actually it wasn't. So that consistency can be where we fall down. And the lack of direction, but hopefully this past week has helped you with that a little bit. Doing things in isolation as well, so not doing joined up thinking, not thinking about your call to action and what you want to achieve from it. I know accountability can sometimes cause us not to keep on top of things. And sometimes it's just not having a plan beyond just, oh, I'll just post something on socials. But if it doesn't build into a plan or a strategy for what you want to achieve,
Mm.
then what's the point? Posting can be a bit of a waste of time unless you know what you're doing and what you want to achieve out of it. Okay. So the challenge that we I went through this past week with you actually drills in to my bigger Basine method. So my Basine method, I've got the Basine course that you can do that breaks it down in loads of detail, step by step, how to do your own PR. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview of it because this is what the challenge that we've done, the bold, actually fits in to my BC method really nicely. So it was a taster of the bigger method. So we you begin with the vision. So if someone Googles you in 6 months, what do you want them to see? What do you want them to find if they Googled you and your name? Think about that because your PR and your visibility can help you to ensure that whatever when they Google your name in 6 months' time, what appears is what you want them to see. Okay. So think about if someone Googles you in 6 months, what do you want them to see when they do that? Oh, I've gone backwards. Don't know why I've done that. Um, and then the E of the B is evaluate. So now we look at the people and places. So we dipped into this a little bit on the challenge. We looked at who our ideal client is, where they hang out, what media they read, what do they consume, so we can work out where we need to be. So what networking events do we need to go to? What rooms do we need to be in? What social media platforms do we need to be on? All of these things, what media, what magazines, what newspapers, what online media, where do we need to be so that those people can see us? Okay. And then the S is the story. So in the Basine method, we do it a little bit the other way around. So we don't lead with the story. We do the evaluation first of the people and the places, then we move on to the story. And we look at the story that connects and converts. So we blend the personal. So when we did the story mapping, a lot of that was personal stories with the professional stories. So it's our why, which is based usually within the personal stories into the professional, and then the seasonal relevance as well for media can be a big thing. And then we looked at the E being the expectation. So, what is that call to action? What do we want that person to do when they've heard our story, when they've read the story, when they've watched us talk about our story on a stage? What do we then want them to do with that? What's that action we want them to take? Because it's really important to have that clear expectation at the end of what we want that person to do. Because otherwise, it's just a vanity project. It's just like, oh, look at me. I was in this newspaper or this magazine, but it's not moving the needle. Yes, okay, someone could potentially Google you, and if you've got an unusual name, then it'll come up. But ideally, you want to link them to a website or a social media handle or whatever, so they can find you. And then the execution is a second D, the taking the bold action. And that's what you've all demonstrated that you can do this past week. You've taken some element of bold action and implemented that strategy. Now, I know a few of you are still catching up with it, and that's fine. I trust that you will take that bold action maybe next week when you've caught up. But the strategy only works when you actually implement it. And I'd rather you implement even when it's not 100% perfect, because you will learn then what to tighten up, what to change, what to do differently next time. Because so many of us procrastinate or we think, oh, do you know what? It's not quite there yet. It's not perfect enough. I need to practice more. I need to rewrite this story. Oh, do you know what? My website, I'm not 100% happy with it. I need to change the pictures or and we come up with some excuse as to why it's not 100% perfect, and therefore next week I'll do it, or the month after I'll do it, or next year I'll do it, and we just keep putting it off, and it stays on our to-do list, and it just moves onto every to-do list throughout the entire year. And the reason I know this is because I do it as well. Because I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I have things on my to-do list that hang around for a while because I keep putting them off, because I keep thinking, oh, well, when when I've refined that, I'll do it, or when this happens, then I'll do it. And the best time to do it is just to take that action and refine it as you go along, and stop waiting and procrastinating. And then the final N is to never give up. So review and refine. Visibility is cyclical, it's not linear. So don't think I've gone out with this story to media and it only landed in one publication or it didn't land at all. So I can't use that again. Bin it. No, save everything because the media is moves in cycles with the seasons sometimes. So save it. Even if it's a story that was connected to some weather event, well, that weather event will happen again. Just file it away and save it for another time. I know they said save it for a rainy day. That was a pun. But save it and reuse it again. Nothing's rubbish just because it didn't land. Yeah, save it, rework it. All the ideas are good ones. All the stories are good ones as well. And you could use any of them. Okay. Oh. So we looked at story mapping. So I just thought I'd show this again for anyone who has joined this and didn't do the challenge and missed out on the story mapping exercise, because this is really, really useful to map out and discover and uncover those different stories. And it can be really useful, even if you've done it once, to do it again or do it like every quarter, because your memory will pull out stories that you forgot about or you missed, or you'll be reading something in the media or watching something on a soap opera and you'll suddenly remember, oh my God, that happened to me as well. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. And you'll suddenly remember things. So don't think of it as a one-stop exercise. You can revisit it and repeat it, and you'll find stories that are just your average everyday story as well. Like you might have been late to pick your daughter up from school, and there's a traffic jam and you're like cursing and you're almost getting the road rage. And then you remembered mindset and your NLP training, and then you reprogrammed your own mind to instead be thinking, oh, they're always late out on a Wednesday. I bet they're going to be late out again. Oh, they're always late out. I bet they're going to be late out. And then you get there and you get there before they've even come out because they're out late. So just think about little everyday examples. It doesn't have to be a big wow, this happened. It could be like a little thing of how you dealt with adversity and how that helps you in your day-to-day role. If you do mindset for a business or NLP, it could be like a little example like that. I've got loads of little examples of where I've used my NLP training and to help me to do things. And if I can tie that into how I help my clients, brilliant. So think about it. It doesn't have to be a big, just stopping front page of the Sun story. It can just be a little story that you think, oh, it's just like an everyday story, but that could really resonate with your ideal client. And with the media sometimes as well, because sometimes they don't want the big, big stories. They quite often like the everyday stories. So just have a thing and feel free to revisit this because things change. Yeah. And we looked at the three types, different types of story as well. So we looked at your origin story, and this isn't where you grew up, where you lived, where you were born, your family, or whatever, unless that is tied into your origin story. This is your origin story as though you're a superhero. So Spider-Man's origin story would be that he was bitten by a spider. Batman's origin story was that he was trapped in a cave with a load of bats. So think about what that origin story looks like for you and why you do what you do. What makes you you? Yeah. Why is what you do so important to you? That is the origin story. And then your expertise story. So why should someone trust you? What proof have you that you are good at what you do? That highlights that expertise. And it could be that you won an award for being the best at what you do. And that's an expertise story. Your transformation story is proof it works. And it could be a transformation story about you and your life that you transformed and turned it around. So it's proof that you applied everything and learned everything and you did it on yourself first. Or it could be a transformation story, a case study of something that you have helped the client to do. But think of it as a story. So I took such a body from this situation and then helped them to do X, Y, Z. So transformation story for me, if it's related to my airlines, is for Finnair, the fast airline to Asia. When I first started working with them, they had two flights a month from Manchester Airport onwards to Helsinki and then onwards to Asia. And they wanted it to work for their Asia flights. So they launched daily flights from Manchester to Helsinki and then onwards to Asia. And they wanted to be known as a fast airline to Asia for business travelers to China, Japan, Korea. So quite a niche market. And at the time, no one really knew who they were. The sales guys were having people say, "Oh, what? Is that a hair restoration company? Is that air conditioning?" Um, they didn't even realize it was an airline. So we had a big job, and I did strategic brand alignment for them and aligned them with other brands that had similar values, like HSBC, which was synonymous with business in China, or Deloitte, that at the time was synonymous with business in Japan. I did things with the Japan Society. I did things with the China Britain Business Council. We sponsored the China Business Awards. All the things that would help them be seen as that business carrier to Asia. And I took them from being number 12th choice for passengers from Manchester to Asia to third choice. And I beat hands down, that I beat, they beat hands down Emirates, Etihad, and Turkish Airlines, who all at the time were sponsoring football teams and cricket teams. So that is a transformation story of what I've done. Okay. So think of what that transformation stories look like for you. It might be something to do with a client, it might be something to do with you. Okay. And then we looked at tapping into news cycles as well. So some of your personal stories might tap into some of these news themes and these news cycles. The other thing that I didn't mention is there's also news stories. So basically, if you've got something that's newsworthy. So you might have won an award. You might have just expanded your team and employ 10 new people. You might have just won a massive client. You might have moved offices and relocated. You might have raised loads of money for charity. Those are all big news stories. And so if it's a news story, it's more likely to get picked up by media, usually by local media or trade media. But outside of that, some of your stories, if there isn't a timely hook to them, the media might go, oh, that's a nice story, but we'll put it to one side for now. If you, if, whereas if you hook it into something that they're currently writing about that's in the calendar, they're more likely to feature it than say, oh, it's a nice story, we'll put it in on file for when we have a bit of room. If you can say, oh, actually, do you know what? I've got a business that helps people therapy with horses or something, and it's Chinese New Year, they're more likely to then put it in then rather than go, oh, that's nice, a nice story, we'll put it to one side. Yeah. So think, just have a look through the different news cycles. And this list that I've done is by no means exhaustive. So you might find that there's other trends going on at any given time. And also, it's really important to look at timing, the timing of your pictures for news stories. So if you are wanting to get into like your local newspaper, say, well, the local newspapers usually go to print on usually by Wednesday lunchtime so that they're out for the Thursday. So if you factor that in, their team planning meeting, the editorial planning meeting will probably be on a Monday morning. So you need to pitch them before that meeting on the Monday morning if you want to make that week's edition. So work back from when they'll be going to print on things to work out when you need to pitch in. Because if you try and pitch in when they're putting the paper to bed, it's not going to get picked up. It's not going to get noticed. If you're phoning someone, it's going to just wind them up if they're really busy, because they'll see you as pestering them. So the timing is everything. Okay. And don't give up because journalists are so busy. I know that are my friends that don't reply to me on the first, second, or third email because they get so many, they just miss them. So you do have to follow up and follow up and follow up to get a response. But do it in a nice way. Do it in a oh, I emailed you last week about this story. There's a new twist on it. So this has happened. Or I emailed you about this story last week and I've got some new photos that would look amazing with it. So try to do your follow-up and your chaser email as though you're doing them the favor. You're trying to help them. You're helping them put the story to bed. You're helping them make it better. So so it's not seen as you're just nagging them, you're helping them. Yeah. So if you flip that mindset of wanting them to post your story so you get more business, you actually wanted to help them to give them a great story that will help them sell more newspapers, magazines, drive more click-through rates to their websites from their socials, all of that. So if you flip it, you'll get more from them because you're there to help them do their job. They've got a job to do, as of you, but they're trying to do their job. And if you can help them do their job better and more efficiently, then they're more likely to look at your email next time you email them. Okay. And so one of the ways you can help them is by not clogging up their inbox by attaching big image files to your emails. If your image is so wow that if they saw it, then they'd print the story. Even if the story was rubbish, they'd just go with the image. Then attach it as a really low res image, and put a link to a high res image in the email. But ideally, don't attach anything to your email. Put the bare bones of your story into the body of the email, copy and paste it in, and put links to the images that go with that story. So those links might be to either a Google Drive, or to a Dropbox. Ideally, don't attach WeTransfer links because they expire. And nothing irritates a journalist more than having to email someone to say, the link doesn't work, or I can't open this attachment, or it's expired. Because the odds are, if they're really busy and they've got other stories landing in their inbox, they might go, oh, that's not opening. But do you know what? I haven't got the time to be chasing them. So I'm just not going to feature it. That's why you need to make their job easier. Think about what they need from you to make that story good and make that story land and make that story look impressive. So they need images, they need your story in a concise format, they need your call to action with any link for the call to action as well. Okay. If your photographs or images have other people in them, you need to make sure that the other person is aware that you're sending that image to a newspaper or a magazine or whatever, so they're happy being in that media. But also you tell the media who the people are in the picture. Okay? Because the picture might be of you and your mate who is doing this new collaboration with you. But the journalist doesn't know what you look like, and they haven't got time to be going on your social media to figure out which one in the picture is you and which one's your friend. So you need to say, those in the picture are from the left and give them the names of who is in the photographs. Okay. And it probably goes without saying, but if there's anyone who is under 18 in your image, you need to have written consent from their guardian in order for media to be able to print the picture. Okay. So just make their lives easier is my go-to. And then timing, also, if you are trying to get into the monthly magazines, so that's like your regional monthlies. So regional glosses like Cheshire Life magazine, Lancashire Life magazine, Cotswold Life magazine, um, all of those, or your national monthlies, so like your Good Housekeeping, GQ magazine, Cosmopolitan magazine, Red magazine, all those that come out on a monthly basis, they work 3 months behind or in advance, should I say. So so they're all now putting Easter to bed. So you need to be thinking ahead. So that list of news themes that I gave you, look at that and think if you want to go in the monthlies, look 3 or 4 months ahead, and then you know what stories they're going to be looking for and what they're interested in, and pitch them those. So work back from who you want to be featured in to figure out your timings and when you need to pitch them. And broadcast is a bit of a shorter lead time. It's probably 2 or 3 weeks before the date or when you want something broadcasting to get into their diaries. Okay. And broadcast, even if they said that they're going to cover something, they can change at the last minute. I've had people travel down to London to go on this morning, be in the makeup room, had all the makeup done, the hair and makeup, ready to go on, mic'd up, and then they've been dropped because a bigger story's landed and they've had to extend the news. So just because broadcasts say yes isn't a guarantee that it's going to happen. So don't be disappointed if broadcasts mess you around because they quite often will do. Okay. So you have to also be quite patient with media. So it's vital that you now look to plan ahead for your 2026. So what have you got in your plans so far this year? What is it that you're planning to launch or sell this year? What targets have you got, or have because you might be employed by someone else, has someone else set for you, or what will you set for yourself? What events are you already subscribed to attend this year? And what new rooms do you need to be in based on who this ideal client is that you need to reach out to? And what are the stories for the year? Have you plucked out the stories that maybe work seasonally, maybe tie into a particular launch or thing you're trying to sell, or different narratives? It might be that you're planning to launch a book or a podcast and you want to link something into that. Think about what those themes might be, how you can link things in, um, and where are you going to share them? Are you going to do more on a particular social media channel? Are you going to try and get more in your local newspaper? Are you going to go for monthly titles? Think about what that looks like and what do those calls to action need to be? And it could be that they change throughout the year depending on what it is you're selling. So you might have a book that you're selling. So then it might be the call to action might be buy my book. You might then be featured on a podcast. So then the call to action might be listen to me on this podcast. And then next call to action might be connected to an event that you're doing. Buy a ticket for my event. So it doesn't have to be the same call to action all the time, but you just need to be aware of what that call to action needs to be. And if you've not got anything that's being sold right at this moment that's new, it could just be sign up for my free thing. Could be follow me on social media. Here's my Instagram. So just think about what that looks like, okay? Because every single bit of visibility, whether it's a social media post or a press story, press release, needs a call to action. So you're telling them what you want them to do. Yeah? So why is it that visibility hasn't really stuck? Because we all know kind of what to do. I think you all knew what to do before I told you to do it in this challenge. Even if it was in your subconscious, you knew what you needed to do, but without the structure, it's hard to do it. And I am the same because the real problem quite often is it's not a motivation problem. You're all motivated to do your work, your businesses, and to do what you do and to help more people and everything else. You're all very motivated people because you run your own businesses or you work in sales roles and you need to be motivated to sell. You really do. So, all of this that I've shared tonight will work, but only if it's applied consistently. And most people don't struggle because they don't know enough. It's just because that increased visibility brings judgment, brings extra pressure and extra responsibility. So quite often it's this fear of what if I do it wrong? What if people troll me? What if I let people down? And it's this responsibility because you are just so driven, but you care about what you're doing so much, it almost makes you want to hide or freeze from doing anything at all because then you can't get it wrong if you do nothing. Um, and quite often we're all shouldering so much responsibility. We've got the responsibility for our businesses, our families, our home life, and we're shouldering so much without a huge amount of support. So quite often it just feels scary. And I totally get that because I've hidden in the past. I've hidden behind my clients. When I was doing the stuff for Thin Air, it wasn't me up at the front. I was pushing them onto the stages and everything. And so I was just hiding in the back, making things happen, like the puppet master behind the scenes, but not actually up there myself because I was too scared to do it. Okay. So I understand totally what it's like. And PR can actually help and work for you when sometimes social media or going live or whatever can feel really heavy and really scary and sometimes really exposing as well. Um, because those people that value integrity over just the image and what you say, it can really help to build that credibility because it does compound. And PR can last for a long time. So, like, I posted today a story about how yesterday on the school run, I heard an interview on BBC Radio 2, and it was Sean Ryder and Bez from the Happy Mondays just chatting and doing their usual funny banter that they do. But they brought up a campaign that I worked on over 12 years ago called Bezzy's Bees that won multiple awards. We basically put beehives on the roof of the Printworks in Manchester, and I got Bez from Happy Mondays to front it because he's obsessed about bees and he just become like a qualified beekeeper. And not a lot of people know that about him. But now more people know about it, obviously. But they were chatting and having a laugh about the Bezzy's Bees campaign in Manchester and with the beehives on the roof, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, that was 12 years ago. And they're still talking about it now. And that shows you the power of PR. Because, like I said this morning, I remember when I was a kid, and I remembered saying to my mum something about, oh, I hope the papers don't pick up on such a story, and my mum saying, oh, well, today's news is tomorrow's fish and chip paper. No one will remember. Whereas obviously these days everything's digital. So people do remember. And the thing about PR is when it's in an online magazine or a newspaper, it's online, it's there forever. Well, unless you take it down, obviously. But it's there pretty much forever. And as Lisa, who's on here tonight, experienced, at the end of last year, I got her featured in the Manchester Evening News as a client of mine a couple of years ago. And a journalist, a radio journalist, had come across the article online, reached out to her and invited her on to the radio to do an interview about the same story 2 years on. Um, and brilliant. She now might end up having a regular radio slot on that radio following that interview because she's fabulous, is Lisa. So of course, why wouldn't they want to have her on more regularly? But that's come about just from that one piece of content 2 years ago. So it can really work. Whereas socials, quite often, yes, it's there forever, but the algorithm and things can sometimes work against us. Okay. So it can really, really help that whole credibility and support and being seen for your thinking, not just your visible, your what you look like on socials. So it can really, really help. Okay, so how do we get you from invisible to in demand? It's clear positioning, calm, consistent visibility, um, and get you to be chosen. So you're not having to chase all the time, but people are actually choosing to work with you or they're reaching out and contacting you, just like they did with Lisa. They reached out to her and said, can we get you on the radio for this interview? And that is the beauty of it. You're not having to chase all the time, whether it's chasing for new clients, new business, or whether it's chasing for that media opportunity, because the media will look at what other channels are writing about. And if they like the idea of that story, they'll reach out to you. I've had clients who've had regional stories and they've gone on the regional online platform and then a national's seen it and gone, hey, we like that story. Do you want to be in the Telegraph? And then all of a sudden they've been in the Telegraph as well. So it can really, really help you. And it's just about becoming visible in a way that feels steady, that doesn't feel like you're riding a roller coaster. And one minute you're everywhere, and then the next minute you're nowhere, and then you're back again. Oh, she's back everywhere. And then you disappear for a few months, and then you're back. Woo! Um, so it's just more steady. And so clients and opportunities and referrals will just start coming to you because people know you for what you are and what you do, but it's just steady. It's not louder, it's not trendy, it's just more grounded and based in what you want to be known as and what that long-term vision is for you. Okay, so what obviously I'm going to be selling something tonight. Um, and what you're actually buying is the safety to be seen and a structure instead of overthinking, and someone who can hold the plan when your head's spinning and you've got a million things going on. Just someone to say, that's right, you're doing the right thing, and supporting you every step of the way and giving you the permission to show up without polish. Because at the end of the day, people want to see the real you, not the person that's put all the makeup on and got dolled up and had a hairdresser do their hair before they've gone on to do a live video. They just want to know you are you and you're genuine and real and all of that. So working with me is for you if you value integrity over your image online, if you actually would rather just go live and be you, um, and you don't want to continue to hide anymore. You want to come out of hiding, but come out in a way that feels comfortable and safe for you, and visibility that fits into your life, that you can fit it in to all the other things that matter. So it doesn't feel like another thing on your to-do list that gets ignored and gets moved to the bottom of the next to-do list and just gets moved to the bottom of every to-do list. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to move the needle on this big vision that you've got there. And if you're ready for support of someone who actually genuinely does care about you, like the number of clients that are no longer working with me, but are past clients who I still reach out to if I see something that would suit them. Like I'm sure I've messaged Lisa a few times since we've worked together to say, "Oh, I've seen this, Lisa. You're interested in this or that or the other," because I genuinely care about people. Um, that is who I am, but it's not working for me with me isn't this isn't for people who are chasing quick hacks or want the next quick win or the next trend that will get them a load of money and then they can run off and do something else. It isn't about shouting louder and being the loudest person out there. Yes, it's being confident and owning your space and owning what you do, but it's not just being the loudest. And it's not about people who just want to be famous for the sake of being famous. I once had one client go, Sarah, I just want to be famous. I want to be everywhere. And I was like, that's probably not for me then. You're probably not for me because at the end of the day, you've got to have some substance behind you. Um, because otherwise, no, it's just air. Um, and because you don't need to be confident. You really don't. Confidence comes from doing the work. And you don't need the perfect hair or the media trained voice. You really don't. So, your next step would be to join my Global Visibility Club. elite membership. Um, and within Global Visibility Club, you get all the support that you need. So we get all the group sessions. So we do accountability sessions once a week. So we everyone jumps on and shares what three things are gonna move the needle for them in their business that week. And then I hold them accountable to that the following week. And if you're not sure, or Sarah, I don't really know what I want to do this week. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I help you. I'll give you suggestion and guidance and say, well, actually, do you know what? You've got this coming up, so why don't you do this? Or actually, do you know what? Have you thought about doing this? Because this is trending in the media at the moment, this theme, and that taps into that story that you said you've got about why you do what you do. So think about all of this. The Elite also gives you one-on-one guidance with me, a power hour every single month. So you're not on your own trying to muddle through. You have me helping you with your strategy and your plan of how to get you visible and what's going to move the needle to get you to that end vision that you've got, that big audacious goal, what will move you there. And then I keep you on track monthly, one to one. And then you have the weekly accountabilities as well. You also, it's not another course, but you do get access to my Be Seen course. So you get Be Seen Get Set for Success, which are 5 sessions, and then you get the Be Seen course, which is another 5. So you get 10 sessions of a course with workbooks and all of that as well. But it isn't about the course. That's just part of it. You also get monthly deep dive sessions. So every month, the members vote for what they would like the deep dive session to be on. So what is their focus on their visibility? Where is there a gap? And it's visibility encompassing PR, website, your CRM system, speaking opportunities, everything that falls under visibility. So PR and marketing is inside the Global Visibility Club. So if we've done so far how to get an interview on a podcast, how to find the right podcast for you, how to prepare for the interview on the podcast, what to do before you go on, what to do during your interview, and then what to do after the interview. And then we have had I did a session about what to do when you win an award, how to maximize the publicity and visibility following an award win. But then we also had a guest expert come in and speak to us who works with corporates on identifying the right awards for them and then figuring out how to enter it and what their award strategy for visibility is for the year. And she came in and shared that with the group. I've done speaker bios, how to do a speaker bio to get on more stages, how to pitch in your story to the media, how to design the best lead magnet for your business. So there's loads and loads of deep dives already recorded, already in there. And then each month, everyone votes and there'll be more added as we go. So you're getting to tap into that as well. It's ongoing support, so you don't have to do this alone at all. And it's over a whole year, so we can build the visibility plan together. So you're never guessing, you're never spiraling of, oh my God, what am I doing? Because we know what you're doing. And you know what you're doing, and you have an accountability session that knows what you're doing. You have a WhatsApp support group for the Global Visibility Club. So all the members can also help each other. So if you're unsure and you want to test something out, you can pop it in the members chat and ask everyone, what what do you think of this? What should I do with that? So that is there for you as well. Okay. So yeah, the it could be for you if you need that support and that hand holding. And you just need to start showing up and doing that action. And I can help you to do that in a safe way. Um, but if the elite isn't right now, then we've also got the Global Visibility Club gold level, which just gives you all the group elements only. So you still get the courses, you still get the monthly deep dives, but you get the group accountability sessions, you get the group WhatsApp support, but you just don't get the one-to-one with me every month. But that might be enough for you at this moment in time, and that's okay as well. That's totally fine. So, what happens now? So, you can join now if you're ready and you want to jump into Elite, you can do that right away. And I can do a call with you and we can map out that strategy and plan straight off so you can get going. Okay. Or you can reply to me or message me to talk it through and check which is the right thing for you. I'll also follow up personally with each and every one of you. There's also going to be a Q&A at the end of this, and there's also prizes as well to come for those of you who've done the challenge, which is great. Um, but yeah, if this feels like the support that you have been missing, then I'd love for you to join now. But there's no pressure, no hype. It's just about leadership. Okay. Um, and some people start off in gold and then they move up a level when they're ready. And that's fine too. You can move up and down the levels as you wish within the Global Visibility Club. It's completely normal. So there's no rush decision tonight. There's obviously momentum. And what I'd like to do is for the momentum from the challenge to be allowed to continue. And because I'd be love to see where you go when it continues. Um, and if you felt seen during the challenge and this session, trust that. And I know visibility can feel risky, especially when you're used to being the one that holds everything together, being the glue that holds your family together, your business together, your life together, and everything together. That can feel risky and scary. And it's not about becoming someone else. It's just about being supported as you move that forward and and grow you and your business. Okay. So stay tuned. The big action takers. So this is the list of the people who have done all of the challenge. And I've just realised Lisa's missing off the list, even though you've done it, Lisa. Even though I told Becky, make sure Lisa's added, and I've not added her to my list. Typical. So
Done
Lisa,
the
you are in.
wheel, don't worry.
Yeah, you are included in this. So these are the people who will get the one-to-one power hour with me. So we'll be in touch after the session with a link, calendar link, so you can book those in. Um, and we can get that in place for you and we can have that session. And we'll do the wheel spin at the end because I'm going to share my screen with Becky so she can spin to say who will win the half day session with me, who've just done all the action takers. But we'll go on to do the other prize winners first. So the second prize, the community cheerleader, was Andrea Evans. Well done, Andrea. Thank you for commenting and liking, engaging with all the posts in the Facebook group. You're amazing. So well deserved. So you will win 3 months membership, gold level membership inside the Global Visibility Club. So well done.
Thank you. I want to cry.
Um, then sharing is caring. Ariel, you shared the most on stories and on your main Facebook feed about the challenge and how great you thought it was. So you will win a place at my in-person event, which will be the end of March, and it's only to confirm the details for that, but we'll let you know once it's all confirmed, and hopefully you can come along, and that will be in Manchester City Centre. So now, before we go to questions, I'm gonna share my screen with Becky. Let me give Becky control. Hold on a second, because Becky's got
Ready?
the magic wheel. So let me hold on. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Stop share. Right. So let me make Becky controller. Hold on.
Okay.
Um, make host. Okay, Becky, you're up. You should be able to share
Okay.
now, lovely.
Let's have a look.
So, big drum roll.
Count.
And
Ready?
and of course, whoever wins this needs to be on the call. So we may need to spin again, depending on
Oh, okay.
if
Right.
they're here or not.
Here we
So
go.
let's
Give it a
see.
little shuffle just so you know there's no
Drum roll
rigging going on. Hang on. Let me get rid of that.
and just check everyone's on there. I think they are.
Yeah, we can't see your name shout. Right,
Oh,
here we go.
Katie's missing.
Ah, okay. Hang on. Let's go back.
Sorry. Good job I spotted.
Use the dog here then.
Okay, yeah, I think
Then,
everyone else is
those
on.
folks.
Right, ready.
Ready.
Spin. Good luck, everyone. Oh, I don't know if Naomi's on. Oh no. No, she's not on. We
I
have
have
to
to spin again.
respin.
Okay.
Naomi will still get a power hour, but she just
Yeah.
can't get this unless you're on the call. Let's hope it's someone else that's on the call. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, Ariel! Is she on the call? I think she is, isn't
Yes,
she?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, woo! So you've just upgraded your power hour to a half day session with me. Brilliant.
Hang on. Stop share. Go back.
Yeah. Um, amazing. Hold on. Let me just take control back. Otherwise, oh, hold on. And then we can do some questions. Reclaim host. Okay, so has anyone got any questions that you want to ask me?
It's only
Feel,
just an observation, Sarah,
yeah.
really. Because I was reading on the feed today about Carol, uh, the weather lady. Is it Kirkman from, and she's resigned, hasn't she, from the BBC? Is her name Carol Kirkman?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, it's Carol, the weather lady, and she's
Carol
resigned.
Kirkwood.
Kirkwood,
Kirkwood,
that's right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I knew you'd know Annette. I knew you'd know Annette.
No.
And it was interesting because I think she's fabulous. But she said that she's eventually left the BBC, A, because of the abuse she's had online for being 63. And
No.
yeah, it's unbelievable. So because I'm all about aging with positive aging with
Mm.
purpose,
Yeah.
I can see myself getting a few trolls, but you know what? Bring them on.
Who cares? Do you
Who
know what I
cares?
mean? And the thing, but what I always say to clients is because I had one client who got um national media coverage, and I said she was going for it, and I said, beware of the trolls. I said, but my advice to you is not to even bother reading the comments at
Exactly.
all, because majority of the trolls that comment on national media stories aren't even people, they're bots.
Yeah.
And they're AI bots created to drive up the SEO for that site and that algorithm. And they're not even real people. So you're being insulted by a robot. who has zero emotion.
Oh God.
Mind
So,
you,
That's actually better to know, isn't it?
so when you think about it from that perspective, what's the point in getting riled up if it's
but the
just a
point is,
machine?
Sarah,
Yeah.
the point is, Sarah, the people who are real and are
Yeah.
making those
Well,
comments,
yeah.
they have no emotion. They have no emotional intelligence if they can be
No,
like
well,
that.
they've got nothing better to do with their
Yeah,
lives, have they?
no.
At
Bit
all.
of a self-reflection on that. It's just an
Yeah.
observation I made. And,
But
I'd like, well, go on, sorry.
Lisa, this is an opportunity for
I
you
was
to
going to say
talk
that,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you can become that spokesperson
Mm,
to call it out on socials,
mm.
do a
I think
live talking about it,
yeah.
contact local media to say, I'd like to make a comment because I think it's awful that she feels
Mm,
that she can't do it because of
mm.
abuse that she's getting.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with getting older. Look how fabulous I am. And you contact them. Seriously, you
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
It's
Because
the
that
best
is,
ever sort of, you were talking about obviously making the connect. I mean, there's not a
yeah,
better, more
connection.
timely
No.
story,
Mm.
is there?
So it's,
No, that's a good shout, Sarah.
and they call it, the technical
Mm,
term is newsjacking. When you look at news that's happening and then
yeah.
you jump on with a comment or something
Mm,
about said news as the
mm,
expert in that field. And there's
mm,
nothing wrong with that. That's what all the big brands do. They all
mm.
jump onto it. Yeah.
Well, my first port of call, well, tomorrow I will do a post on it.
Do you know what you should do?
What?
Contact your radio station person. Say, I've just seen this news.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's a
if you
good
want
idea.
someone to comment who
Yeah.
is older,
Yeah.
then I'm your woman.
What a good idea.
And do the same. Contact the TV.
Mm,
So, Granada Reports at itv.com,
mm,
NWT at bbc.co.uk. You can
mm,
tell I've emailed the news desks of local news
mm.
a lot over the years that I just know them off the top of my head.
I will do
Um,
that, Sarah.
yeah, and I think BBC Breakfast is BBC Breakfast at bbc.co.uk.
Mm,
So it won't harm you to email them all and share the link to your MEN
mm,
article.
mm.
Make it work harder for you. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I will.
So has anyone else got any questions or anything they want to ask me?
Think it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. I think in the past, I was looking back at my Facebook posts and we were talking about stories. And I think we talked about the theatre and the Lion King and, making the
Mm,
connect and what have you. And I had a look last week at all the stories that I put on, and it was really helpful because I copied and pasted those out. So I've got them now rather than them being lost. But I just think it's been really helpful. And I think
good.
now I can see the way that, like you say, you can structure your story, because structure your stories. Because I love writing. I really enjoy writing, and I'm writing a book at the moment. So for me, you said sort of look at where you get your energy from and where, for
Hmm.
me, the best thing for me is sitting down and writing. I love doing it. So I feel much clearer now on how I can structure, my PR,
Yeah,
um, and
good.
and get it to work for me. Still got a lot more to do, obviously, but I've just found it really, really, really helpful. So thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm pleased you got a lot out of it.
yeah.
Um, has anyone else got any questions or anything they'd like to ask me? Gonna go back to the other screen in case anyone wants to scan the QR code. If anyone would like to jump in, then we'd love to have you in the membership. Because I've thoroughly enjoyed having you all as part of the challenge, and especially all the supportive comments, all the support of each other within the Facebook group and also within the WhatsApp group as well for the VIP community. It's just been lovely. It's been a really, really lovely group. So if you would like to jump in, then please do so, because the WhatsApp community for Global Visibility Club is as supportive. So some of the people who have been interacting with you inside the VIP WhatsApp group for this challenge are also in the Global Visibility Club.
Mm.
And it is such a supportive community where we all share and help each other. And you can ask me, even if you don't go for the elite, if you just go for the gold, and you do all the group sessions, you still get to ask me questions on the accountability call every single week. So you can ask me questions, you can message in the WhatsApp group, and we'll all help you and support you because I genuinely care about my clients. Um, it's been what, over 10 years since I did the PR for Finnair. But when you
Mm.
hear me talk about them, I'm so passionate about them still. And
Mm.
they no longer pay me. They haven't paid me for over 10 years. But I can still stand on a stage and tell people why they need to fly with them and why they
Mm.
should love them as much as I love them. And this is what you get when you work with me. Once you're a client of mine, you're always a client of mine. So, yeah, I'd love to have you in my membership. Um, and if it's not the right time for you, that's fine. If you want to have a chat to me about it in more detail, then feel free to do that. My inbox is always open. We can schedule a call. You can message Becky. She'll pop a call in my diary for you. Um, yeah, it's been lovely. So thank you so much for all showing up live. You'll get the recorded version of this sent out to your inboxes in the morning as well. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask me. And I'm here to help you. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, that's
Thanks,
fabulous.
Have a nice
Fabulous,
evening.
Sarah. Okay, darling.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
you.
bye
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Oh,
Bye
oh,
bye.
let me do a quick photo. Jump back
Oh, jump back on.
Jump back on. Jump back on, even though it jumped
I think
off.
you've lost someone.
Yeah, I'm gonna reshare my screen, and then if you want to all put your cameras on, because I always bloody forget to get a picture, don't I? So I've sworn now on the recording, but never mind. Never mind. Authentic as always. Oh, we've only got a few people on. Never mind. Oh no, here we go. Yeah,
Get
pop your
rid of your
cameras
share
on if you
screen.
can. Pardon?
Get rid of your share screen, then you can see
Yeah,
everyone.
but then I've got the branding on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see?
Rude.
Always thinking. Branding, branding, branding. Right, hold on. Let me get my camera because I'm going
Would
to
it be
do.
better with the visuals of us across the bottom, Sarah? Would you put more people on for you?
Oh, yeah, let's have a look. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I don't know how to do that.
You just drag it. You normally just drag it down to the bottom, or pop it at the top.
Yeah, it's not letting me do it. I don't know
Oh
why. Oh
no.
no. Oh no, I don't want that. No, I'll put you all on as a column. That's fine. Don't worry. Right, I'll do a screenshot actually. That'd be easier, won't it? And I'll stop looking like I'm concentrating. Oh, hold up. Oh no. Hold on. Something's gone wrong. See, you're not paying to join my membership for tech support. Think yourself lucky. Right, smile. Brilliant. Thank you so much for jumping on live. I really do appreciate it. And those who are in my Global Visibility Club are staying on to do the accountability session. If you would like to do that, then stay on if you're in the Global Visibility Club. But if not, then thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.